Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of DeeTV. We had a bit of time off because this week's guest is very hard to get hold of. Alright, we had to work around him to get him on. We made it easy for him. We're where all the business happens, with a pointy end, where everything happens, where Cal Walley's magnets move from the ones board to the twos board quite regularly. This week, I've got none other than the Premiership hero, our defensive coach, Chance Bateman. Chance, thanks for coming on the show.
No worries at all, Cal.
Really,
thanks for having me.
I'm actually really nervous, guys, because this bloke is one of my idols growing up, but he always has been, doesn't know that. Luckily, he coaches the defenders, don't you, mate?
Yeah, I do.
You happy with that?
Yeah, no, I had a really good year last year with the defensive group. I'll put it down to all my coaching.
Yeah, just teach them how to spoil and stuff, all that simple stuff that defenders have to do.
Absolutely.
So I called him the Premiership hero, obviously 2008.
Yep.
It's not often I get to speak to a bloke that's won an AFL Grand Final and a Premiership. Talk us through that, mate. How good a moment was that in your career and your life, I guess?
Absolutely amazing experience. Like most young footballers growing up, you dream of playing on the MCG AFL Grand Final day. So that happened. I had mum and dad over, had my wife over there, or now my wife, partner at the time.
Yeah.
And my best mate came over as well. So it was just an unbelievable day. What made it so special is that when Clarko came in 2005, we were struggling pretty hard, and the majority of that group that played on Grand Final day started that journey in 2005. So we went through some hard times together and then came out on top 2008. So pretty special.
We'll talk about a couple of those hard times in a minute. Yep. But alright, so Premiership's a big thing, but I know you've just recently got Instagram. Am I right?
Reactivated an account.
So the great man, I think this is an age thing, trying to just keep up with the youth of today, but there was a great reason for it, mate. And the 5th of December, something special happened. Talk us through that.
Yep, the birth of our son. He's Chance Charles Bateman.
Yep.
Goes by Charlie.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Nicknamed Charlie. Our first little one, so just...
Going well, mate?
Yeah, it's going really well, actually. Yeah, Jess is doing an amazing job. And the little fella's sleeping pretty well, feeding well, putting on weight. He's a bit chubby now, so it's all going well.
Well, it's good. Well, I guess what I want to speak about is being a father, you've got to set an example. And myself and Dan around you have been going through the archives, and the first bit of footage I saw was, I think it's a game in 2009. Matthew Lloyd, you know what incident I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Yeah, so can you talk us through were you just angry pills at the time, or what happened here?
Well, we were playing pretty well, going really well actually. We're up by a fair bit. I'm not exactly sure of the score, but we're up by a fair bit at about half time. And the winner out of that game goes on to play finals. We're the reigning champions, so premiers from the year before. Didn't want to miss out on playing finals the year after. I don't think there's been any club that had actually done that. And anyway, Matthew Lloyd came out after half time, off the line, absolutely cleaned up Sully. And when you see one of your teammates hit like that, and I thought it was a bit of a cheap shot. I mean, that sort of stuff had been outlawed in recent times. And then an opportunity came up later in the game where Matthew tried to shepherd me, and I thought I'd taken up the opportunity to get one back for Sully, but I don't think I did much damage.
It was amazing. You look at the footage, guys. You only got 1 week for that, so I think you escaped one there.
Yeah.
So how
took an early play.
So, mate, the D's at the moment. We're going into our first pre-season game against Peel this week. But how have you found pre-season? How do you think the boys?
I think it's been really good. The attitude from the group, I think, has improved on last year. You've actually been a bit of a highlight this pre-season, mate. You've stepped up in terms of your leadership, and I've told you that you're starting to look like an athlete now, so you've lost a little bit of puppy fat you were carrying around last year. But no, I think we're pretty well placed. Been a little bit unlucky with some of the injuries to Cody Leggett and Bozo in particular, who've had outstanding pre-seasons. So unlucky that those guys are going to be missing some footy early on, but I think we're pretty well placed at the moment, and really excited about going out and testing ourselves against some waffle opposition this weekend.
Now, one big thing I want to speak about, I know I like digging up footage from the past, and you search Chance Bateman on YouTube, and the first thing that comes up is your 2004 game, the Line in the Sand one.
Yeah.
Very famous game, everyone knew, everyone who knows footy talks a lot about it. Mate, I want to bring up a few things, because the first incident is, I think it's Chance Bateman sliding in, might have hit Jason Winderlick a little bit high.
Yeah, trying to make the footy.
Yeah, okay. There was a bit. Have a look at this. We'll slow it right down. I think it's very close to marking it, Chance. Yeah. I think even Stephen Quartermain said, "I think Chance Bateman sparked this." Do you take a bit of responsibility for that, mate? Because Richie Vandenberg sets off and it's all happening.
No, I don't really. A lot of people have said that I started it through that incident, but I think it was just coincidence that happened, and then there was a few spot fires everywhere, and it was just on. But the story goes, I was only a young sort of fella at the time, but apparently Dermy or a couple of other sort of past players, senior figures around the Hawthorn Footy Club, had spoken to some of our leaders about an incident that had happened just before half-time. Robbie Campbell was picked up by, I think it was Mark Johnson, and just absolutely smashed after the whistle had gone. Yeah. And Essendon and Hawthorn have got a bit of a rivalry, and they'd, around that time, had been giving us a bit of a touch-up and bullied us a little bit. And those sort of players spoke to some senior guys around the footy club and said, you know, it's about time we put an end to this. And then Schwabby gave a pretty spirited speech at half-time as well, and
got the boys up.
And yeah, we ended up getting smashed, but from that point on, I think we won the next 9 in a row or something like that.
Yeah, I think Hawthorn since then has been pretty successful.
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
And look, what I'm proud of, mate, because I do consider you a friend now, and a good mate of mine, and call him the veteran, but I think Andrew Welsh comes over, has a crack at you, and you put him on his arse, and then, I think there's Adam McPhee, who's, you know, he's got a cut eye.
Yeah.
You know, he's not the most attractive human, giving you a bit of lip, and I know you, mate, you sort of copped it, and I think watching that footage, going back on it, mate, I just feel proud, because I think, you know, you're a great man. I just love to would have known what you were saying at the time.
I didn't say much. I said that he's bleeding and he's a weak song, so go for Nah, not really. There's something along those lines.
There's awesome, mate. Look, so obviously it's a big year, 2017. So what do you think it holds in store for the Perth Footy Club, and what's our aim, and what should we look to do this year?
I think every year at a footy club you should be looking at continual improvement. So that doesn't matter if you've played finals the year before or finished down the bottom. I think every team's looking for that, and we'll be no different. I think the side will look a lot different. Even working with my defenders this pre-season, it looks completely different to last year. You know, we've got McPhail, Jibba, so a few fresh faces down there, and Scotney, who's been absolutely outstanding as well. It'll be good to see what he has for us this year. I think the side will look a lot different to last year, but we'll be looking to improve and get a few more wins on the board.
That'd be awesome, mate. Well, I've never been so nervous during a DeeTV episode, right? Because I love this bloke, and he's an absolute ripper, and we're very lucky to have you at the footy club, mate. And I think at the end of the day, I reckon the AFL itself needs more Indigenous leaders, and I don't think there's any better one going around than yourself, mate. And that means the world that you took the time out of your day to come spend some time with me on DeeTV. So thanks very much, mate.
Thanks for having me.
All right. It's been a fantastic episode. We couldn't get Tendai on. We'll try and get him on next week. But I'm Cal Walley. He's Chance Bateman. Look after yourself.